Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
Three-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there you can analyze and compare two laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to Apex Racing TV and the Radical Racing Challenge. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Alessandro Dalladoni, Mark Tranter, bringing you these lovely images of Le Mans for this round of the championship. Alessandro, we've been to our fair share of slipstream circuits so far this season. Of course, we went to Monza, the absolutely pinnacle earlier on in the championship. This is pretty close to it, however. It's going to be a slipstream fest. Good luck making a gap because we should see some real tight pack racing.
Absolutely, it's gonna be very interesting to see how the racing develops around this kind of track, because we've seen already in multiple racetracks, as you said, a lot of trains due to the draft. It's very difficult to break the draft with this car and package they are running. So definitely Le Mans with all these huge straights is gonna create some very unique and interesting racing. And I think maybe some qualifying won't be that much of a factor today, because if you get a clean start, you can then start building up some speed and position on the backstretch.
Yeah, exactly, and if anything, maybe coming down this section of the track that we're currently watching Aaron Barber negotiate, maybe you won't be behind coming out of Mulsanne corner and then pick up that job. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, but the good position compared to last time at Barcelona, not too important at all. A little bit of a change for the qualifying tonight, because the drivers are only going to be able to set one lap. It's a longer lap is this one, and yeah, close to 4 minutes. And so it should just be the one time being set by the drivers, even though they're technically allowed to. So this is absolutely huge for the drivers to set this one right. And I mean, you did a little bit of driving last week in this car, Alessandro. It is tricky on the cold tires. I mean, it's not even a long outlap around here as well. So the car will be almost will be way faster by the end of the lap than at the start. So somehow getting temperature into those tires, it's going to be crucial for a good time here.
Absolutely, and it's gonna be really interesting to see who gets the most out of this qualifying, because obviously you can't afford to make a mistake. Well, you can only in the first minute or so of your lap, because then you have to go back out and set the second valid lap time. So you can push in the first part, but in the second part you need to be very, very careful to not pick up slowdowns around this final section, and mostly not get any incident points and off tracks as Kane did, and I think he will start from the back.
Well, he's the seed number 1, so he'll be top of the
Number
charts
2
who
today.
don't set a valid time. Oh, number 2, there you go. But he'll still be at the front of the charts who don't set a time. I think there might be a few of them, but what's a mistake from Kane Halliburton? He's taken a few poles. Could just see him go all 4 wheels off the circuit. I mean, that doesn't necessarily define the track limits, but it's a fairly good idea. So Halliburton can be signed up in 20th place or something, but still only 10 drivers have set times, 11 drivers now. Josh Cam goes up into 3rd position. Good to see Josh out there, of course, very good driver in a couple of the Apex Racing League series that we host. Ming in 4th, and currently Aaron Bubba at the top. Also Alfredo Malo, who's not a driver I'm familiar with, Sandra. He's up there in 2nd position, so quite a mix-up of the grid. It shows what a difference you can make when Kane Halliburton's not up there.
Absolutely, and also the man definitely attracting different drivers that have been not very active in the Radical broadcast race so far. As we are on board with Tommy Wittens, let's see where Tommy will put his car in and moves up. No, his time is invalid. Beauchamp moves up to 11th in the meantime.
Yeah, and more times coming in. Nicholas Zipf may or may not get his time in. Also, we're seeing Thorsten Ulrich, although he will not make it because he's on his 2nd lap. McHutchinson as well, actually, that's playing lap. And with his fellow countrymen, at least if you count the United Kingdom as his countrymen. Apologies, no, of course, Kane is Jamaican, or he's located in Jamaica. But anyway, the Scottish driver, anyway, could have a chance at a very good result here with Halliburton struggling. So can he go for pole position? Wants to be up in the front couple of rows. Oh, that's not the front couple of rows. That's 14th place for John McHutchinson. He has had a couple of top 5s already this season. Car number 6, that is a hugely disappointing qualifying for him.
It's a very, very weird qualifying session, and I think some drivers are just trying to get a lap in, while others made a mistake earlier in the first lap and managed to get a 2nd lap time in and still didn't really want to push too hard to at least start in front of the few drivers that will not post a valid lap time. So Le Mans is very, very tricky for qualifying. Unlike differently as the Nordschleife, you get to run the laps in the session. So it's only one shot.
Yeah, as we see Nicholas Zip, a driver who I am not familiar with once again, not usually racing in this series. But can he get a valid lap time in? He does, but it only fractionally improves his position because you can see he's got some of the drivers who set a time. Albeit everyone's fairly close. And I say that's a cliche. Because when you put the order like we have on the time tag, it looks like everyone is very close. But everyone is quite close. It's a very long circuit that you've got to remember. And so for the times to be quite as close as this is quite impressive. Of course, this is the top split of this season. This is the strength of field, so absolutely the best drivers in this radical SR8 machine, battling it out for what would be quite a prestigious race win if they can claim it. Aaron Barber then, who has got a couple of race wins this season, of course, he is on pole position then for this week 7 of the championship. I believe it's week 7. There's Alfredo Malo in his first ever race, we believe, in this split. So good luck to Alfredo. Then it's Josh Cam, Kike Ming, Torno Ordires, Thorsten Ulrich, doing very well for the seed number 20. There's Ade Koba Lopez, watch out for him. Paul Crabb, Ludwig Stahl, and Arturus Kundelis rounding out the top 10. There's Daniel Beauchamp, Ethan Lamb, Javier Soto, John McHutchinson, Eric Hanoi, Dennis Kyriakopoulos, Paul Taylor, Emmanuel Suter, Dylan Freckleton, Nicholas Zip, championship leader, Kane Halliburton. There's Tommy Whitton's, Andrew Dixon, and Mike Busson in his first ever race as well, in 24th place. It can be quite a tricky first chicane, even in real life. 24 hours, Century sometimes have collisions in that first chicane. Cold tyres, you reckon we might see any of that on this lap one?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very, very interesting. Some drivers might actually have even one more chicane to do before starting their race, as in last place Busson will have to start all sideways, so he will have to navigate through the last corner, but for sure it's going to be not making mistake the aim for any driver in the first lap, because slowdowns will be very, very, very long.
Yeah, that could seriously harm your race. You can stay in this draft, but you don't want a slowdown if you can avoid it. So it's Aaron Bubba on pole position, Mallow alongside, and 7 laps of racing at Le Mans are away. It's a very poor start for Bubba, who'd got a bunch of wheel spin, and that good qualifying has totally been undone. Mallow in his first ever race, storming through the order. Kike Ming also with a very strong start from 4th on the grid to get into the top 2. A deep dive for Josh Cam, I think that was, going on the inside there, but has to cut the corner and will have a huge slowdown, letting other drivers pass out. Ordiris, perhaps in fact, just having a problem, as a bit is actually Aldrich who across the chicane on the first lap. 3 wide further down, Kundel's trying to gain a few places. Cam is now off the circuit and chopping places very quickly, and now he got a car into the wall, and that's going to surely go into the rest of the drivers. Somehow didn't. That was Lamb who found himself in a terrific position with that problem right there, and it sure has kicked off in these early stages, Alison.
In the meantime, we have also a problem for Adeko Balobas, our number 1 with more than 7,000 rating, out of the race. He parked the car, entering this straight, so damage for the number 1, as we see drivers side by side coming through the first chicane, side by side racing. Now they will have to work together, because Mario and Ming in front have already opened a gap of 2.5 seconds.
And that is just increasing as the other drivers start battling, and Stahl crossing the chicane and has made life a bit tricky for himself. Made life tricky for himself in qualifying to Kane Halliburton. Not a terrific start. He's gained 6 places, but considering the other issues that we've had with other drivers, that's not particularly impressive. But he is up into 15th. But crucial for him, the race is really getting a big gap. Any overtakes in these early stages for these midfield drivers probably not going to be too decisive. It's all about keeping the momentum up. Try not to lose too many places in one go. But it is a long lap of this circuit. It's going to be a long race for these drivers. Kundelis just moving up into 4th position, and Mallow and Ming also changing places a few times, but they'll undoubtedly be working together. As just ahead, Kundelis managing to hold off Ulrich there. And also Beauchamp under pressure from Ludwig Stahl. Stahl though stays behind, staying in his 9th position that he started.
For sure, some swap drafting between Malo and Ming, helping each other out on the straight. Kundelis, Ordieres, Ulrich, all trying to battle for position. They will slow each other down and give these 2 drivers the chance, as we are 3 wide entering Indianapolis. This is not going to end up well if they are still 3 wide, and McCutcheon's also matches a 5th place out of OTRs.
McCutcheon's had a good start. He's up 9 places. It was a bad qualifying for him, but he's showing how quick he is. And this first lap, Barber, just trying to calm back. It was the most rookie start you can imagine there from Eva. And we've got a spinner in the back. That's Josh Cam, who started up in 3rd position. But that has just gone even worse for him. There's the 2 leaders pulling away. But absolutely bizarre start there from Bubba. It was, I remember I didn't drive the car for about 6 months, and I stepped into it in like January. And I got a similar start to him, where you just get all the wheel spin, drop the clutch immediately, and it's absolutely dreadful. I'm shocked that a multiple race winner like Aaron Bubba made such a rookie mistake, it seems.
Yeah, sometimes it just happens, but this is one of the racetracks where you can actually get away with it at some point, and have plenty of time to recover the positions. Definitely not the chance for a race win, I guess. because 3 seconds on those two drivers up front is gonna be a very, very tough ask, but Baba can definitely still fight for the podium as Kane Aliberto moved up into 14th place. A very cautious start. He dropped back almost a second in the opening corners to avoid any contact. He knows he can go past these drivers and fight for a top 5, even though he started.
And there's a couple of championships as well that Halliburton's fighting for, because we have the official series championship, but also a special championship just for this broadcasted race. Halliburton's at the top of both, and in order to get points for the official series, you don't need to do too well in this race to be fair, but to get points in the Friday night series, you do need to finish in the top 10, so maybe that's what Halliburton is thinking about, perhaps, not quite sure. I think we just saw Crab got past, Prodigy Style get past Crab, and now we're also seeing Ordures, who had a very up and down start, just being overtaken by Barber, and also by Hutchinson, and Kundal is going 3 wide there. Oh, a lot of fighting here, Alessandro, and I think we've been bored by the end of this season because we're pulling our hair out thinking, why are you fighting, guys? You know, work together. But that's the strategy that these guys are thinking of. They must just think that they're faster than the driver ahead and they don't want to be stuck behind.
Well, obviously, if you are in the trap, you're gonna be faster than the driver ahead, but if you know the drivers ahead have more pace, you just need to give them some help, some love, and push them on the straight. It's very difficult to do with this car, but once you practice it, it can actually give you some speed advantage, as Kundelis, McHutchison, Ulrich are fighting really, really hard, almost 4 seconds now the gap. Erin Baba will definitely try to jump in the lead of this pack and pave the way to a comeback, but it's gonna be really, really difficult.
I can understand why Baba's making the lead, actually. But like Ulrich, no disrespect to Ulrich, just hold back. And now McHutchinson's trying to go through. Oh, Baba, what are you doing there? That is really a terrible move there for Baba. He's picked up a slow down as well. I think that was a complete accident. He was too late on the brakes. He had to put his car somewhere, and he's just made it very tricky for himself once again. McHutchinson and Ulrich still fighting. So whoever gets the jump from Kundelis, look at Beauchamp as well. Going to be pretty close to these guys. And now McHutchinson's right on the inside. He can't really pick up a slowdown there, fortunately for McHutchinson, who does move up to 3rd place for the first time in this race. Yeah, who was that, Feckleton? Yeah,
that is a very known trouble spot. There's just a little bend on the right, and if you are side by side, it's very easy to tangle. Let's have a replay. Baba was still in there, 3 wide. Ooh.
Oh, lucky.
No one else is involved, but you hate to see that. 3 wide around here is doable, but you need to be very, very careful because a slight tap and your race is definitely over. There's no way to go, no run of ferry around the mountain.
Not sure if that was Stahl or Crab. They've got very similar liveries, at least on my screen. And they're racing next to one another, so I'm not quite sure who that was, but yeah. I'm surprised we've had so few retirees. This is the most brittle car on iRacing, and we've had a couple of huge hits, but not that many kind of small hits, which wreck the cars, and even some of the back bumpers, which, you know, fold if you throw a marshmallow at them, are still intact. So I'm very surprised at how we've got to lap 3 with such a pristine field.
Absolutely, and these guys are definitely fighting really, really hard. Some drivers are taking it a bit more easy and making passes when they can, and they know they can make a pass before the end of the braking zone to not lose much time. But other drivers just want to move up easy through the order and try to pull away, as McHutchinson is trying to do with Ulrich, but Kundal is only 8/10, so since the draft starts around 1.8 of a second, it's gonna be very, very difficult for these 2 drivers to pull away from 5th place. Baba and Ali Burton very, very close in 8th and 9th place. They will be definitely looking to make some moves, in this middle portion of the race.
And these 2 have taken all the race wins so far this season, 4 for Halliburton, 2 for Baba. So yeah, seeing them run 8 and 9. And it's kind of their fault that they're there as well, because Halliburton, to be fair to him, tiny mistake, but Bubba's made a couple in qualifying, which advantage to lap time Bubba with a dreadful start up to a terrific qualifying session for him. And then, of course, picking up that slowdown. But you still think that they're probably going to be fighting for the podium by the end of this race, because McCutcheon cannot pull away. And Condes so far has been very aggressive, very experienced driver in many different cars. He'll be racing the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Series very soon. But he is battling for every position right now. McCutcheon drops down to 5th position. Should be Condes has the advantage, but a slightly tighter exit. Oh, this is really going to slow them up now. Very slow here, and now they're right on one another's tail. And wow, that's come on guys, work together, because we're now 5.5 seconds on.
Well, we are definitely enjoying these great battles, but some drivers on their drivers chat are definitely not really happy about what is going on up here. 3 wide racing again. This is usually not ending up really well. You've seen earlier with Baba, but the drivers spread out and managed to go side by side through this corner, and look how aggressive Kundelis is driving.
Yeah, just a bit of a gap forming to McCutcheon. Now Ulrich pulls out. Ming takes the lead. But I think we need to see what's happening with McCutcheon and co, because that lead battle will change plenty. This will change plenty, but then it could be tears for these drivers anytime soon. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Bubba somehow has got to 3rd place there. And off the circuit, I think, was McCutcheon. Oh, no, too wide. Don't go for it, guys. Oh, that was always going to happen, because it's a narrow corner, and Bubba has another off. And frankly, I'm surprised he doesn't tow out, because he has had everything that could go wrong in the season. He's had gone wrong in the first 3 laps of this race. So it's now Ulrich, who I think has probably been the most aggressive out of all of these guys, up to the top, and Halliburton from outside of the top 20 on the grid. Go around the outside. Oh, wow. Well, if there was any net code there, or if there was any lag there would have been contact. But somehow Halliburton got through, and he's up into 3rd place.
Absolutely, what a pass there by Kane Halliburton, and now he will stretch this group by quite some margin, because yes, he will be very, very fast, but on the straight everyone will close in. Sure, Kane with his fastest lap of the race so far, 350.2, will be having a good chance to break the draft, which is ultimately what everyone wants in this group, I guess, because you don't want to be double 3 wide anymore in these last 4 laps.
Yes, it's maybe thinned out a bit now as this pack, but Vittens is nearly within 1.8 seconds. In fact, he is within 1.8 seconds, so I wonder if Vittens, Starland, Soto and Crab will be able to catch back up to this pack. And yeah, Halliburton's not pulling away. I mean, even through the corners, it's not pulling away. Ulrich staying right with him. Ulrich is very quick. We don't see Thorsten too much. I think we may have seen him once or twice before. We don't usually see him too much. Oh, slow down for McCutcheon, and after getting to P3 just a lap ago, he has lost that. The good news for him is that the lap time that iRacing compares you to would have been when he was right in the draft, so he doesn't have to slow down too much, but he still lost some track position.
And this is very good news for Tommy Wittens, because now he will have the draft of McCutcheon, and we will have now essentially a pack from 3rd to 12th position. Everyone back together in 4 seconds. It's a long pile of car, but everyone still has a chance for a podium here.
Yeah. And viewers may be thinking, I swear I've seen Malo and Ming change loads of times. Why aren't you guys looking at that? Well, they're changing every lap because the trust face job. But I assure you, we will watch lap 7 of these guys, because that's when this race will come down to. Very tricky to know who's the faster, and of course neither of these guys have ever won a Friday night race. Malo, because he's never done one before. Ming has done pretty much all of them. We've broadcasted about 18 of these races, and Ming has been fighting for the win in about half of them. He always just comes out second best though, usually to Halliburton. But he might fancy his chances against maybe Malloy, who hasn't got quite as much experience when it comes to this car. And we might just go for the move here and expect this to be the scene on the final lap of the race. And yeah, well, there goes me for the lead. As Kundelis just getting ahead of Ulrich and also Halliburton. So Halliburton really hasn't made the gap. And if Kundelis is leading through the Porsche curves, Sanjay, I think that's really going to hold up these guys. Halliburton is definitely the fastest out of these guys. He can't stretch his legs through the Porsche curves, and then the others catch through the straights. But when Kundelis is at the back, no disrespect to Archulis, he's not quite as fast, and they all kind of get just stuck in the turbulent air instead.
Absolutely, and I think K1 will have the chance to come back and get his third place before the Porsche curves, as we have another lead change, but it's pretty much expected. Every straight the drivers change position to have to open a gap on these guys. They are still fighting really hard, not that they are really worried now because the gap is already 6 seconds, so it's going to take quite a lot, but look at how hard everyone in this group is pushing to make a gap in this section. Essentially the only very difficult part of the track when it comes to downforce and precision driving. You can't afford to make a mistake, especially with the radical, because if you gently tap the wall there, the steering will be definitely better.
Well, I saw some sparks from Ulrich, but that may have just been like some lag contact on my end. So I thought he'd maybe hit the wall, but he seems to be alright. Mitsons, what a time! 3:49.9. Wow. He must have just got the absolute perfect job. And Barber now with a 4:29.6. They will have pole position and the fastest lap. He may not even finish in the top 10 though. And Barber. Josh Cam, he started up in 3rd place. But he's down in 17th at the moment. He has just got past Eric Benoit at least, who was involved in a couple of collisions earlier on, but still going all right in 18th, but losing a lot of time there. Hanoi Mo just picking up a slowdown. So we head back to near the front. Halliburton with a half a second lead, so not enough. And yeah, Dallas. Big question for him is, does he want to pass into the first chicane, or does he want to leave it a bit and pass into the second? I think he might go for the first one.
Oh yeah, because if he doesn't go for it, he might get passed by the guy behind. He needs to be very careful. If you just hold up a little, everyone behind you is gonna try to make it work and get even 2 positions if they can, because the slipstream is so strong and you can really gain a lot of time. So we will see some mind games, some strategy play out in the last lap, especially between Mario and Minga, where they can afford to play a bit with it. Especially instead for this group, it's gonna be wild for sure. I don't think there will be much strategy into place. Oh, big locker.
Yeah, that was deep for Ulrich, and he's got a rubbish exit. Halliburton, I don't know how he's still in the lead here. The others are kind of stealing the job from one another. Beauchamp as well kind of wants to get involved in these guys, and he will just go for the move here. Quite a bit of damage. Maybe Ulrich did hit the wall because he had got some damage on that front right, and now he just backed out of this one, which is the wise thing to do. Condes is very deep and has to take a bit of a instinct action. But did Beauchamp hit Halliburton? No, he didn't. They both were way too deep on the brakes, and somehow Halliburton got away with it. I think he had to turn out of the corner in order to avoid Beauchamp, who ran wide anyway. And now Ulrich manages to get past the pair of them. In fact, Contes down into 9th place. Has lost a bunch of time right there. Halliburton still at the head of this one. But now we're going to see a super aggressive move from Ulrich. Beauchamp tries to go around the outside. He's going to try to be a hero here with a couple of laps to go in the race. But Halliburton leaving room again. It's just damage avoidance here for Kane. He's a very wise head as McHutchinson has escalated this order. He's back up into 4th, but well, don't fight too much, guys, because Halliburton is just starting to make a bit of a gap. It's up to 8 tenths.
Indeed, that's what Kane wants to see, try to open a gap here, as we have a 3-wide racing again with Ulrich that last time pulled out of it, now having the inside, so he will definitely go for it. everyone else will have to lift as Beauchamp and McHutchison make some contact. It's gonna be interesting to see if McHutchison will have some damage from that impact. It looks like he got away with it.
Yeah, that was McHutchison just wanting to turn to the corner, but having to wait so long because he had Ulrich having to hold on till turning into the corner himself, and yeah, absolutely crazy. Right, the Halliburton getting the gap up to 9/10, but Ulrich is good through those S's and through those Porsche curves, and staying fairly close. Beauchamp not very strong through the chicanes, however, and look at that second gap between each of these drivers. Maybe a bit of respite now. Soto back with these guys, and Stahl as well onto this train. And this is kind of where the positions do start to matter. So Contest down in 10th place, 3 laps ago, don't really care, because that's where McHutchison was 3 laps ago. McHutchison's back up to 5th place, but Contest has got a lot to do here, and yeah, there was just that outbraking manoeuvre into the Mulsanne corner as really derailed his race.
Absolutely, it was really not necessary in my opinion, because you can give up a few positions, especially early in the race, or still 5th or 4th lap. You can back out of it and just make sure you stay in the pack, because in the end, whoever lost the draft, lost it because of a mistake or an incident, not because they don't have the pace. Everyone in this field has the chance to stay with the leaders pace-wise because of the draft. But if you make just one mistake, get a slowdown, you lose the draft, then it's race over.
Yeah, that's absolutely very well put. Yeah, it's impossible to kind of beat everyone else on that 4, but you can certainly lose any chance of it. Stahl, Contest down to 11th now. Yeah, Stahl up into 9th. Wittens, who briefly set the fast up the race, up there, and also Beauchamp and McHutchison battling. I can kind of sense McHutchison's frustration here, because it wasn't a good qualifying for him. And then he's had a couple of setbacks when he's been high up in the pack, and I think he is a bit faster than Beauchamp, but just cannot get past. Here he goes again. Well, this should be fairly easy for him this time. As Ulrich getting a bit closer now to Halliburton. Halliburton would love the race to end on this lap. Oh, and Beauchamp's now got a slowdown there. And also Kundelis just knocking over the curb. Cone will do well not to pick a slowdown himself. But yeah, Beauchamp down into 8th position now.
In the fight now, we have 2 different parts forming from McHutchison, Wittens and Beauchamp, and then 9th place Soto Stade. Kundelis lost the draft, fighting really hard. Halliburton pulled a little bit of a gap together with Ulrich, but McHutchison still has a bit of a draft. If he can nail this final sector, he will have the chance to fight for a podium still next time by.
Yeah, it'll gain a little bit of time here, and then of course Ulrich will lose some time through the Porsche curves, and yeah, it could be close. McHutchison still with that one, and Wittens, I'm rooting for Wittens because I haven't seen him do any dumb moves so far as Wittens, and that's a rarity out here. Wittens has been probably a bit more patient than the others, and he's very quietly got up to 6th place, so it would be awesome to see him take a podium. Ulrich then with a storming move then. Ulrich is I've said it a couple of times, he is seriously quick, Ulrich, and I really hope that we see more in these top split races, because he really could fight for podiums and race wins. McHutchison are within a second of those drivers, as we are moving on to the last lap of the race, and what a frantic race it has been. We've had a tough time keeping up with it in the commentary box, but it's been classic Le Mans action. Halliburton with a bit of a rubbish run there through the chicane there, and he's got a little bit of catching up to do. He will catch up, goes without saying, but yeah, just a half second, and that does allow McHutchison a bit more of a chance as well.
Absolutely, the race for 3rd place is definitely not over, and will definitely not involve Ulrich and Halliburton anymore, but also McHutchison and all the other drivers, because it takes just a slow corner, and everyone will be on your back looking to make a pass, and I bet the people won't ever back out of any late dive and late braking, 3 wide, 2 wide, whatever it will be in the last corner.
Absolutely. Porsche curves, watch out for that as, Ulrich trying to keep behind Halliburton. I wonder if he's got a bit of like air damage or something. He seems to be pulling out and then just losing any momentum. And look at Hutchinson as well, right onto these guys. He gained about 8/10 down that one straight, and Vincent is going to be dangerously close to these guys by the time they get into the second chicane. So Halliburton again is going to try to go for this, but he's pulled out early again. He's almost catching too early down the straight. Now dips into the draft. Can gather a bit of overspeed, but here comes McHutchinson. He's going to box Halliburton in, who waits patiently. He has got good straight line speed. He's on like 80% throttle here. Is Halliburton, and does lift out of it. He's going to try to pick these guys off in the late stages. Now McHutchinson back up to third place. That's the first time he's been up there for about 4 laps. Might have to start paying attention though to the race leaders because even with half a lap to go, it's still kind of just sparring with one another. But we have just got a couple more long straights to go, and this is where the race is going to be decided.
Yes, being I don't know if he will try to make a move around this straight though, Sam, because ideally you want to have the draft next time. You can see Malo pulling on the right, not full throttle. You can definitely notice that. He's not closing down the gap. He will stay behind Malo through this section as we have 3 wide. Oh, Ulrich, side door by McHutchinson. What a fantastic racing. A bit dangerous, I must say.
And Halliburton back to the front. He's been able to make his way through. But for the lead, it's going to come down to the Porsche curves then for this final lap. Mick's left a little bit of a gap. He's left... I think this might be a little bit too much here for Ming. He was holding back before. Now he will be absolutely full throttle, trying to gain the gap. It's going to be very close into the Porsche curves for the final time. There goes Ming down the inside. He desperately wants the lead. He manages to push his rival off the racing line. But has he just left it a little bit too late here, the Spaniard, to take his first ever race win in this series? He is still trying to stay close through the turbulent air. Just a couple of chicanes to go, and Ming almost running wide as well. Barber's had a crash in the background as Marlowe trying to break the draft as they head into the final couple of corners. And in his first ever Friday night top splits event on Apex Racing TV, Alfredo Marlowe is going to round the final corner and takes the win at Le Mans. Ming had a slowdown to serve at the end. Halliburton, 21st on the grid, manages to finish in 3rd position, and Ulrich, after making some enemies up there, finishing in 4th. The rest of the drivers will cross the line. Sotte in 10th. But I wonder if you could get a replay of Ming on that kind of through Indianapolis and co, because it seemed like a good strategy. So I know you were kind of alluding to it before, how Ming didn't want to be ahead going into Indianapolis, but he left too much space. It was like 4/10 behind, coming onto the straight before the Porsche curves, and he couldn't catch in time.
Yeah, indeed, heartbreaking for Ming. It looked like this was the perfect race to visit victory lane, but in the end he fell short and made some kind of mistake through Indianapolis. Didn't get a very good exit. The gap was already very, very large. Maybe try to have a big gap to have a good run and come at Malo towards the end of the straight, but unfortunately it was too much. You can see he was very, very close through here. He went a bit wide. And braking, not a big mistake, probably just a bit conservative. And Malo getting nailing every apex and getting perfect traction of every corner. So I think Malo played it beautifully. Nothing Kickerman could do, or Sam, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe a little bit of turbulence through Indianapolis just harmed Ming there, and yeah, it was Marley. He came out on top for a very well-deserved race victory, and we should have well, I bet Buson just finishing his final lap here. I think here he is. He had some damage earlier on, went back to the pits, got some of it fixed. I like the tenacity from Mike, another driver who I think was having his first Friday evening race tonight. Also the car number 24, he got in. He was the last seed driver. So if you're going to get into top split, and I imagine Mike may have tried a few times to get into the top split, you may as well get as many laps done as you possibly can. And you get a bit of broadcast time as well. But he had a pretty bad start there, what did Buson. I can't remember exactly what happened to him, but he is finally across the line in 21st place. So there are the results. Alfredo Mayday and Marley, apologies. Mayday would be a cooler name, but Alfredo Marley it is. 2.3 seconds clear of Kike Ming. He still can't break his duck. Kane Halliburton from 21st on the grid to finish in 3rd place. Then Thorsten Ulrich, John McHutchinson, Tommy Vittens, Daniel Beauchamp, Tono Ordires, Ludwig Stahl, and Javier Soto rounding out the top 10. Paul Crabb was in 11th place, and Barber was in 12th. He had some kind of problem, and we might get a bit of a replay just after we go through the results of what happened to Barber. I think he collided with Kundelis. Paul Taylor was in 14th place. Then there's Andrew Dixon, Nicholas Kipf, Eric Hanoi, Emmanuel Suter, Josh Cam, Dennis Kyriakopoulos, and well, Buson did manage to cross the line, to be fair, but was 4 laps down. The retirees were Dylan Freckleton, Ethan Lamb, and Ade Koba Lopez. The seed number 1 is going to be 120 odd iRacing down the drain for the 7K driver. Somehow we only had 3 retirements. Admittedly, one other driver needed repairs, but that is crazy. How few drivers there were, because that's a few retirements there were, because that was a crazy race. So we are going to have a few interviews now with drivers, and the first one is a driver who I wanted to talk to quite a bit, Tommy Vittens, who managed to finish in 6th position, and was one of the, from what I saw, one of the best managed drivers out there on circuit. Tommy, congratulations. I somehow missed throughout the race. You started down in 22nd place, so you must be delighted to come home in the top 6.
Yeah, I really am. Wow, there was a mess. I messed up my qualifying. I got a slowdown coming onto the straight, and yeah, from there on I just managed to keep my head together, because I really don't like starting from the back. And when the race started, it went all smooth. The start was pretty decent. Everyone kept it in line a bit. I saw some incidents, but yeah, it's just managing the slipstream and overtaking on the right parts of the track. So I'm very delighted.
Did you feel like the other drivers, when you got up into the top 10, were being a bit over-aggressive, or do you think, everyone was kind of rightfully fighting for the positions that they could?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think everybody just wants to get the position, so I don't think it's too aggressive. It's just you get so much slipstream, so when you're behind somebody and you get all that top speed, you don't want to lift. That's just a racer's mind, I guess. You're not lift, but if you do it strategically, you can gain places. I just managed to lift at the right spots and just keep in line. So I don't blame anyone for pushing that hard.
You've driven this kind of radical car for a little while, I believe. Is there anything kind of this season that you've been able to kind of pick on? Is there anything that you've been working on your driving, or any tactics through this season that you think that you've improved?
I'm still struggling with the qualifying, so that's my main focus. I know most of the tracks we drive on, I know with my eyes closed, so that's not a problem. But the qualifying is just pretty damn hard this season. You get only one decent lap, and if you mess up, yeah, you lose places. So that's my main focus, to get temperature in the tires, to know the behavior of the car when the tires are not at the right temperature yet. So that's the biggest issue for me this season.
Yeah, I think, whenever I've driven, I have no idea how they go so quick in quali because, yeah, the tyres are absolutely, it's impossible on those first couple of laps. Next week we head to another slipstreaming circuit. It's a circuit that we visited last season, actually. It's Road America. I can't recall how you did last season at Road America. Do you recall? Did you race?
I did a few races, but my iRating was not on point at that time, so I didn't race broadcast. But from what I can remember, it's not that big of a deal, this slipstream over there, because there are some parts of the track it's really technical, so you can build up a gap from there. It's mainly the two straights where you have the most slipstream. So if you take the corners faster than the how do you say, the guys who profit from the slipstream, then it's not an issue. So I'm very looking forward to that track because it's a beaut.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, that should be should be a very good one. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, Tommy?
Yeah, to my mate Eric Baba, he had a worse day today again. Every time he comes near Kane, it seems like his kryptonite. Every time those two get together, it's just colliding. So yeah, it's a shame for Aaron. He should have win this race easily with his pace. So yeah, better luck next week. His favorite track. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, of course, we won a photo finish last season as well, of course. Best of luck for Road America. Tommy, we'll see you then.
Thanks for the broadcast again. See you next week.
Tommy Vitsens there, finishing in 6th position. Not quite as many places gained as Kane Halliburton, but still 16 places gained in the end. Alessandro, you got a couple of choices to pick from here. Who do you want to have a chat with?
Yes, let's follow the standings and have a quick chat also with Daniel Beauchamp. He started in 11th place and finished 7th. Daniel, welcome to the booth. Talk us through your race. It was definitely a very interesting race. 7 laps might have been even too short for this kind of a very hectic and intense racing.
I don't know if I could hand more than 7 laps, Alessandro. It's very intense, especially when you reach the end of a long straight. Everyone's packed up into a group of 4. Yeah, it's a very difficult race. Very intense, and I guess I'm just happy I made it out alive and in a higher position than where I qualified.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what is your take on this style of racing? It's we go to a lot of slipstream circuits in the calendar with this package we have on the Radical, but today definitely was something different. You need to use your head more than actually going for any position, because sometimes you can make more spots just by letting drivers fight with each other and get some freebies along the way.
Yeah, I was relying on that strategy quite a few times myself. Saw 3 people going into a braking zone together. I just decided to back off, wait for them to hit each other, and then try and profit. But yeah, with all the slipstream circuits, it's been pretty insane, and we've been working as a community, or discussing it as a community, to make sure that this doesn't really happen again, because people are getting quite fed up at all the races where they have to anyone can catch you. It doesn't matter if they're second a lap slower, they can still stay behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. That plays a big part in every race, and sometimes you get the best of it because you are trailing someone, you get into them fight quite easily, but sometimes you are just there in front and you say, how is this guy going so fast? He can't catch me so easily. And then he passes and he's dead. He's just stopping you from getting the best lap times possible. It's frustrating, but at the same time fun. Depends on which side you are on.
Yeah, definitely. I think in this case, I was a little bit on the side of I was a little slower, and it was good to be able to keep up with some of the faster guys. And I hope I didn't cause them any frustration with too much aggressiveness.
Next week we go to Road America and you take on that circuit, Daniel?
Yeah, I love Road America. I haven't driven it too much. I did a little bit last season in the Radical. But yeah, I'm looking forward to learning it a little better and racing there. It's still a pretty drafty track, but not as insane as this week. So the racing should return a little bit more back to normal.
Absolutely. And to cap things off, anyone you would like to thank?
Like to thank you guys. You guys do a great job commentating. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks to you guys for providing such a great racing. I think it's definitely one of the most interesting races every week here on the Apex Racing TV channels and overall in official races, because you guys make it always very, very interesting.
Well, I'm glad, we can be of entertainment.
Well, have a good evening, Daniel, and thanks for joining.
You too, Alexander. Thank you.
I think, Sam, we have someone who might not be very, very happy tonight, that being Erin Baba in our booth.
Yes, we do. The multiple race winner, of course, this season. But Aaron, it wasn't meant to be tonight. I mean, thanks for having a chat with us, because I imagine you'll probably be fairly annoyed with how tonight went. First up, what happened on the start? Because that was the level of one of mine or Alessandro's starts. Because you just got wheel spin. What happened?
2 days ago, I just received a package from SimLab. They have a new product like the inverted pedal tray or something like this. And then I mounted my Hussingvelds upside down. And then the clutch, for some reason, if you put it upside down, it registered just a little bit less than normally. But I was like, okay, if I don't have a perfect start, who cares? Just if the start it's okay, then I'm happy. But I've done 2 races today. It was fine. And then on this race, I have the same amount of pressure, exactly the same, because I can see it in the software. And then I had some wheel spin. Maybe I lifted a little bit when I started. So, and then you get stuck in the back. But I know I have the pace on this track, so I should be able to get P1 even though I had a bad start. But then you're driving a little bit angry, and then some things happen. So it's a dangerous track. Sometimes you go 3 wide, and then if they move the steering wheel a little bit to the left or right, then you end up with damage. But I think even with the broken car, I put like the fastest race lap, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, we did see your name flash purple at one point with like a mid 49. That was very impressive. Something happened on the last lap as well. I don't think I ever saw what happened to you on the last lap. Did you have some kind of collision with Arturus, I think?
Yes, we were going to the Porsche curbs, 2 wide. I left enough room for him, so we can go 2 wide there. I was on the left, he was on the right. But then the other guy on the draft, he thought, okay, we make this a party of 3, but it's not a good idea to go 3 wide there. 2 wide, it's fine, but 3 wide, especially with people that are not so skilled sometimes, I don't know. And then he hit Arturas, and then Arturas hit me, and then I was on the gravel. I lost again a couple of positions. So yeah, that's racing, I guess. No problem. I'm not angry or something. I'm happy. It was a very entertaining race for me.
Good that you can see the positives. And of course, the positives for next week is that you are going to what I hear is one of your favorite circuits, and of course, the circuit where you took an incredible race win last season, where you absolutely got the champion Lopez on the run to the line on the last lap. You must be feeling confident that you could win there again, I guess.
Yeah, normally yes. Here also, I know I'm very fast because I've been racing here the whole week, and then I see people that are like 2 seconds slower or something. I still have the track records, but yeah, Road America is also a favorite track of mine. We will see with the draft. I'm hoping to have a nice battle with the top guys, Kane, Kike, and Manu. So yeah, I look forward to Road America. It will be really nice. So I hope I can do the same as last year.
Definitely. Well, we wish you the best of luck for that one. Aaron, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first of all, to John, I would like to apologize because I'm seeing the replay now. At some point, I made a stupid move actually, and I thought on my screen I didn't hit him, but I took the slowdown so I could avoid him. But after seeing the replay, I see that I damaged his car a little bit. So I'm sorry for that. And then, as usually, to you guys, and also to Pablo. I don't know if he's watching because I heard him a couple of days ago. He had the back surgery and he's recovering for it. So I hope to see him next season. And shout out to everybody else in the Radical community.
Yeah, we certainly echo those that sentiment to Mr. Lopez. Thanks for having a chat with us, and we'll see you back very soon.
See you next week, guys. Bye bye.
And Barber there finishing in 12th position. That's his first non-top 10, is it? I might be making that up. We do get sent the points every week.
No, he didn't score a point in 3 rounds.
Yes, Monza and those other 2, yes, which I know. I'm not going to bore everyone.
He didn't show up for some, so on that regard, he didn't take part in the race, so he couldn't make at the top 10 anyway.
Yeah, so maybe only the second time that he's raced and not finished in the top 10. I was trying to save my embarrassment, but I can't.
He needs to be positive, you know. He got hit multiple times today. Hopefully for the next few weeks he will be fine.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I was saying how, you know, everything that can go bad in a season went bad for him in the first 3 laps. So hopefully that's it for the rest of the season in that regard. Yeah, Road America next time out. Sandra, I mean, it's weird speaking to Tommy. The kind of standard circuits that we've got for this series on this schedule, Road America, not even a slipstream circuit at this point. You know, when you've got Monza and Le Mans, it turns into a bit of a tight, twisty circuit. Does Road America, one of the better balanced circuits I think we have. So yeah, you can maybe break the draft, but rather than maybe seeing packs of 10 cars, we should see, I think, maybe a batch of 3 or 4 for the race win, like we saw last season.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely very interesting, especially in the middle sector. Drivers who have much more pace will be able to open a gap, and for sure we won't be seeing 3 wide, double 3 wide like today, but 2 or 3 guys fighting for the lead, and then the usual scraps we have in the midfield that make this a great championship and broadcast race always so beautiful to watch. I'm having more fun in the commentary box than actually racing, to be fair, and I enjoyed even Le Mans, so that tells you everything you need to know from my side.
There you go. Yeah, I think this is one of the best to watch that we have, and hopefully you enjoyed watching it as well. Streaming on Twitch or YouTube, however you're watching this. Of course, big thanks to a few of our sponsors who we have very rudely not mentioned in this event. Because there's too much going on. However, of course, big thanks to Virtual Racing School, who offer over 50 data packs for road and oval racing. They got some terrific telemetry software over there, and also setups and track guides and data analysis software. Absolutely awesome stuff. SDK Gaming for providing our overlay, which you can see up on screen. SDK Gaming, absolutely the best overlay you get on iRacing. So much customization you can do with it. It calculates so much stuff, literally anything you could possibly want to do with it. SDK Gaming is available, and all at a very reasonable price. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk to get yourself a subscription. And also thanks to Apex Racing Academy as well, who provide 29 data packs for road and also rallycross racing as well. It's integrated with Virtual Racing School actually, so if you get a subscription for both, you can kind of use the fancy software for both, and all the setups are set up nicely for you, and you've got all the telemetry software you could want as well. So of course, thanks to Apex Racing Academy, and do go to apexracingac.com for more details on them. So big thanks to for everyone for tuning in for this round of the championship. We'll be back with you at Road America for the next round of the season. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Alessandro Dalladone, and from Mark Tranter, we're going to say goodbye, and we will see you next time.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.